Emily Carson kissed her husband goodbye, grabbed her coffee, and walked out the front door at exactly 7:42 that morning, just like she had hundreds of times before. It was supposed to be another normal day. Same road, same routine, same destination. But this time, she never made it. By 8:15 a.m., her car was found abandoned on the side of a quiet road, engine off, driver's door slightly open, her purse still inside. At first, police thought it might have been a breakdown, but then they noticed something strange. Her phone was gone, her keys were missing, and tucked into the driver's side door was a note, handwritten, folded twice. No signature, no explanation, just 11 words that investigators still can't explain. No signs of struggle, no witnesses, no reason for her to disappear. A wife, a mother, gone without a trace. And what investigators discovered next would make this one of the most haunting unsolved disappearances in recent memory, because the truth behind that note may be darker than anyone imagined. A woman doesn't just vanish on her way to work. Not like this. Not without a reason. In the hours after Emily disappeared, investigators were left with three questions. What happened between the moment she left home and the moment her car was found abandoned? Did she leave willingly, or did someone force her? And most importantly, what did that note in her car actually mean? Because on the surface, Emily's life looked ordinary, peaceful, predictable, the kind of life that doesn't end in mystery. Emily was 42 years old, a devoted mother of two, Lily, age 9, and Jack, age 12, a wife of 14 years, a respected nurse who had worked the same shift at the same hospital for over 11 years. Every morning followed the same pattern. Wake up before sunrise, make breakfast, pack lunch, kiss her kids goodbye, drive the same route. Co-workers described her as the person who remembered everyone's birthday, who brought coffee for the night shift when they looked exhausted, who once drove 40 minutes in a snowstorm to bring a patient's family a spare phone charger. Her sister, Claire, described a woman who never sat still long enough to complain about her own problems, always fixing everyone else's. Her husband, Mark, said their marriage was steady. Not perfect, but steady. We were the boring kind of happy, he told police. The kind where nothing ever really happens. There were no signs of financial trouble, no known enemies, no history of running away, no secret life, at least, none that anyone knew about. But according to Claire, something had been off in the weeks before Emily vanished. Small things, barely noticeable. Emily had started locking the car doors the moment she got in, something she'd never done before. She'd stopped taking her usual walk after dinner. Once Claire caught her staring out the kitchen window for almost a full minute before snapping back to the conversation like nothing happened. Whenever anyone asked if she was okay, she brushed it off with the same line, "Just tired, long week." At the time, nobody thought much of it, but later, those small changes would become impossible to ignore. There was one more detail neighbors would only mention after Emily disappeared. A man had moved in 2 houses down about 6 weeks earlier, kept to himself, kept odd hours. A few neighbors said Emily had mentioned him once, in passing, at a block barbecue. She said he gave her a weird feeling, one neighbor recalled, but she laughed it off, said she was probably being paranoid. Nobody thought that offhand comment would matter, until it was one of the first things investigators asked about. The morning Emily vanished started exactly like every other. Mark woke up first, made coffee, left for his own job by 7:15. Emily got the kids ready for school, packed lunches, and left the house at 7:42, a detail confirmed by a neighbor's doorbell camera, which caught her backing out of the driveway. Her drive to the hospital normally took 18 minutes. At 7:47, she called her sister. The call lasted 40 seconds. Claire later told police it was unremarkable. Emily asking about weekend plans, nothing more. But Claire recalled something in her voice. She sounded distracted, like she was watching something in the mirror. At 7:52, Emily's phone pinged a cell tower 2 miles from her house, right where her usual route curved past a wooded stretch of road, with no houses, no cameras, no witnesses. That was the last confirmed activity on her phone. At 8:15, a passing driver spotted her car pulled onto the shoulder. Engine off, driver's door slightly ajar. Concerned, the driver stopped, called out, no answer. He called 911. When police arrived, they found Emily's purse on the passenger seat, wallet, cash, and ID untouched. Her phone, gone. Her keys, gone. And in the driver's side door pocket, folded twice, was the note. 11 words, written in handwriting police could not immediately identify as Emily's or anyone else's. I know you're watching. I won't let you find her. No one knew what it meant. No one knew who wrote it. And no one, not Mark, not Claire, not a single coworker recognized the handwriting. That was the last physical trace of Emily anyone would ever find. Within hours, the case exploded into a full-scale search. Police canvassed the wooded stretch of road. Cadaver dogs were brought in. Helicopters searched the tree line. Divers checked a nearby creek. Nothing. No blood. No signs of struggle. No footprints beyond her own, leading from the driver's seat and stopping abruptly at the edge of the road as if she'd simply stepped off the earth. Media coverage was immediate and relentless. Emily's photo was everywhere, the local news, national outlets, social media. A mother of two vanished in broad daylight with a cryptic note as the only clue. It was the kind of story that spreads. Tip lines lit up. A woman claimed she saw Emily at a gas station 3 states away. It turned out to be a case of mistaken identity. An anonymous caller insisted Emily had run off with a man from out of town. Investigators found no evidence of any affair, and the rumor was eventually traced back to a coworker who admitted she'd simply repeated gossip she'd heard secondhand. Then came the neighbor. The man who'd moved in 6 weeks before Emily vanished. The one she'd said gave her a weird feeling. Detectives brought him in for questioning. He had no alibi for the window between 7:52 and 8:15. He said he'd been home alone, which no one could confirm or deny. For a moment, it looked like the case might break open, but a search of his home turned up nothing. No evidence connecting him to Emily. No trace of her belongings. His handwriting didn't match the note. He was cleared within a week, but he never fully shook off the suspicion. Neighbors still remember him as the man who was almost a suspect, even after the case moved on without him. Weeks passed, then months. Investigators pored over Emily's emails, texts, bank records, medical charts, searching for anything that might explain her anxiety in the weeks before she disappeared. They found nothing. No blackmail, no debt, no secret correspondence. Just an ordinary woman with an ordinary life who had started locking her car doors and staring out windows for reasons she never explained to anyone. The investigation stalled. For nearly 8 months, the case went cold. Then a break of sorts. A handwriting analyst, working through a backlog of unsolved case evidence, ran a fresh comparison on the note found in Emily's car. This time, using updated forensic software, they found a partial match. The handwriting shared characteristics with a series of anonymous letters sent to a different woman in a neighboring county 3 years earlier. A woman who, notably, was never harmed and whose case had also gone unsolved. Detectives reopened contact with that woman. She remembered receiving several unsettling letters before suddenly they stopped. She'd never reported it seriously at the time, no threats, just an unsettling feeling of being watched. She said the letters stopped the same month she moved out of state. The timeline lined up almost perfectly with when the mystery neighbor had moved into Emily's street. But by the time investigators tried to reconnect the dots, he had moved again this time, with no forwarding address. Was it the same person? Investigators couldn't say for certain. The forensic match was partial, not conclusive. It was enough to reopen the file, not enough to charge anyone. But one new detail did emerge that chilled even the detectives assigned to the case. Emily's phone, missing for 8 months, suddenly reconnected to a cell network for 11 seconds, pinging a tower nearly 300 miles away, in a rural county neither Emily nor anyone in her life had any known connection to. Then it went dark again. Permanently. No call was made, no message sent, just a single brief signal as if the phone had been powered on by accident, then shut off again just as fast. It was the only sign, in 8 months, that anything connected to Emily still existed at all. To this day, no one knows what that 11-second phone signal meant. No one knows who wrote the note in Emily's car. No one knows whether the man who once lived 2 houses down was connected to her disappearance, or whether it was someone else entirely, someone who has never been identified at all. Mark still lives in the same house. He says he can't bring himself to move, in case Emily ever tries to come home. Lily and Jack are older now. Claire says Jack still keeps his mother's photo in his wallet. Lily rarely talks about her at all. Claire still visits the stretch of road where Emily's car was found. She says she doesn't know why. I just feel like if I stop showing up, it means I've given up on her. The note is still in an evidence locker. It's 11 words unexplained. I know you're watching. I won't let you find her. Who was watching whom? Who was her? Was Emily protecting someone else, or was she the one who needed protecting? Nobody knows. And maybe that's the most disturbing part of this story. Not a killer, not a confession, not a body. Just an ordinary woman on an ordinary morning who stepped out of her car on the side of a quiet road and simply stopped existing. To this day, Emily has never been found. So I want to ask you, what do you think that note really meant? Do you think Emily is still out there somewhere? Would you have noticed the red flags before it was too late? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And also let us know where you're watching from. And if this case left you with chills, trust me, the next one will too. Some of the most disturbing disappearances are still coming. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. This channel is dedicated to real, chilling, unresolved stories just like this one. And I'd hate for you to miss the next case. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.